New Jersey. The annual national meeting is being hosted here by the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and we thank their staff, and we thank everyone who helped set up the annual national meeting. At this press conference, we will meet several candidates running for local office in the Green Party, including one elected Green as well. At 9 a.m. this morning, we featured Green candidates for public office in the state of New Jersey. And at this press conference, we're having Green candidates from everywhere but New Jersey. So I'm going to move forward and introduce the first speaker. Constance Gadell Newton is running for governor of Ohio in 2018. And Constance is also co-chair of the Ohio Green Party. Come on up, Constance.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Constance Gadell Newton, and I'm running for governor of Ohio with the Green Party in 2018. I'm a criminal defense attorney and guardian ad litem in Ohio, and this experience has let me see a lot of the issues that Ohioans face up close and personal, including the opiate epidemic and human trafficking. So one of my top priorities is to make sure that we have expansive mental health and addiction services, and that I plan to do this by promoting universal health care in Ohio. So we have seen unprecedented growth in Ohio in the 2016 elections, with a lot of people leaving the Democratic Party, and we anticipate a lot more growth coming up. We've seen new central committees all over Ohio, youth groups, caucuses being active. And my priorities, in addition to providing universal health care and making sure that people have their basic needs met, no matter what is going on in Washington, D.C., is as a Green Party candidate, I'm the candidate to protect Ohio's clean water. I have been an activist and attorney in Columbus for many years, and I've worked on issues, everything from the prison industrial complex to environmental issues. And in Ohio, Greens are active and working on anti-fracking efforts and anti-nuclear efforts. Also, I want to promote green businesses in Ohio. I want to keep our dollars local, and I think that what we've seen in the Kasich administration is that our current and previous governor, Governor Kasich, has made a lot of bad business decisions when it has come to the environment. So we have lost a lot of dollars. He has made decisions that are bad for the environment and bad for the economy in Ohio, taking away incentives for green energy. And so that's something that I want to bring back. So we want to bring back incentives for wind and solar power and protect our natural resources in Ohio. As an attorney, I have worked to protect the civil liberties and civil rights of Ohioans every day, and I will continue to do that as governor, including protecting a woman's right to choose and the right to self-determination for women and people of color communities. I've been active in the Black Lives Matter movement as an activist attorney, so I represent activists in civil disobedience actions and protest actions. There have been many, many arrests and protests recently since the Trump administration has started, and so I've been representing those activists, making sure that we have our rights to free speech and that the people are heard. So, in conclusion, the main goal of the Ohio Green Party, I think, is to open up the democratic process to Ohioans. We know that a lot of people are frustrated with the representation that they have been receiving with the Republicans and Democrats, and that Republicans and Democrats are actually working hard to keep people out of the political process, to keep people from having their voices heard. And we've seen this nationally and in Ohio. And so the Green Party offers voters a voice and a choice. So we're encouraging people to run and be active, to be politically active. And the Ohio Green Party is an open party. We're inviting people in from various diverse political backgrounds, and we are expecting to see a lot of growth as we're coming up on this governor's race in 2018. So I am getting an early start. In Ohio, we have a ballot access issue where we need to receive 3% of the vote to maintain ballot access. And I think that this is very doable. Anita Rios and Bob Fitrakis reached this mark when they ran for governor, and I'm following in my law partner Bob Fitrakis' footsteps to run for governor and secure our ballot access in Ohio. Additionally, I do want to let people know that we are running to win, and we can win with 35% of the vote. I think that is also very doable, and that people in Ohio are looking for a change. They're looking to have their voices heard and to be engaged in the political process, and people are ready for a change. So we're going to be bringing that to them, and we are a party of the people. We don't accept corporate donations, and we're a revolutionary party. So we're inviting the people of Ohio to be part of the Green Revolution. I'm Constance Gadell Newton, running for governor of Ohio with the Green Party in 2018. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Constance. Next up, we have a candidate running in Florida. Elijah Manley is running for Broward County School Board in District 8. Elijah.
Everybody, just give Scott McLarty a round of applause for the hard work he does for the Green Party on a daily basis. Thank you, Scott. Good morning, greetings. My name is Elijah Manley. I'm 18, I'm from Florida, and most of you know me as that kid that ran for president last year. But that's not the case this time. This time I'm running for a Broward County School Board to represent 2 million people on a Broward County School Board. And I'm probably the youngest candidate in this country running for office right now. Broward County is the 6th largest school district in the country with a $6 billion budget and over 200,000 students and 29,000 plus employees. It is the largest employer in Broward County, and it is failing workers, it is failing students, and it is failing our parents and families in our county. Our education system is failing students in our county, and I cannot stand by and do nothing about it. So here's a little bit about my platform. My platform is to eradicate student homelessness in Broward County and end standardized testing, to opt out of Common Core, to democratize our schools, to end the school-to-prison pipeline, which leads minorities and students of color into private prisons in Broward County. The private prison industry, which donates to candidates throughout Broward County before they get on the school board, and to give them contracts, to raise teacher salaries to a livable salary, to provide universal food programs for students, low-income students in our county who cannot afford to eat because their parents are working 2 or 3 jobs and cannot be home with their children after school. To investigate mismanagement of funds. This is a big thing here, mismanagement of funds in Broward County. You know they've been in the news a lot lately with their $6 billion budget, with $4.5 million disappearing out of the school board's budget just over 2 years ago. I was the main opponent. I was the main person speaking out about that. And everyone said, go home, kid. Stop talking about that. There's no missing money. We'll find what happened to the money. They're yet to find what happened to the money. And the media is starting to cover it and talk about it, but I've been talking about that for over 4 years. Since 9th grade, I've been attending school board meetings before I even decided to join this race, talking about the corruption in the schools, how our superintendent on a daily basis crush unions, refuse to listen to students and teachers in our county, take bribes, money disappearing out of our budget on a daily basis. So we need to abolish corporate contracts in our schools. We need to fund public schools in our county. We do not need to move towards neoliberal privatization of our schools in Broward County, which is happening, where we're giving more money to charter schools now and private schools than we are public schools, and we're leaving students behind. I'm a candidate that believes that public money is for public schools and not for private entities. Right now in Florida, there's a bill that was just signed by the governor, which forces our school district to give money to private schools and charter schools without any form of accountability, without any form of leadership over those institutions, which is unconstitutional in the state of Florida, and I am glad that the school board is suing the state of Florida for that unconstitutional action. My opponent, who has big money, who will be having big money, has decided that she does not want to protect immigrant students in Broward County from deportation. Our school board has passed a resolution to protect immigrant students from raids from ICE on campus or while they're on school board property. My opponent voted against that. She also voted for almost every corporate contract in Broward County. I will oppose every corporate contract in Broward County because I am not a corporate candidate. That is why I have chosen to take only individual contributions and no corporate cash. I've had textbook companies, private prisons, contacting me saying, here, we have $5,000, we have all types of bribes for you, and I've decided I'm not going to take that because that's not the type of candidate I am. So please visit crowdpac.com to donate. Individual contributions only we're accepting. This campaign is a frontline campaign in Broward County. We've received attacks from everyone from Debbie Wasserman Schultz to the Florida Democratic Party, and I need all the help I can get from the establishment in Broward County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elijah. The Green Party runs hundreds of candidates for local office in each election cycle, and many of them win. And we have one such elected Green with us today. Earlier this year, March 2017, Barbara Maniotis ran for delegate to the Wisconsin Conservation Congress, and she won. And Barbara will speak to us right now. Barbara.
Good morning, Greens. I'd like to thank Scott for inviting me. Thank you all for coming this morning, and I'm excited to be in New Jersey with you all. It's my first time here. As Scott mentioned, my name is Barbara Maniotis. I ran for the Conservation Congress in Wisconsin, which is actually something that is pretty unique in Wisconsin. Most places don't have a Conservation Congress, but what it is that we are a liaison between the people and the board that is appointed by Scott Walker that oversees the DNR. So we have 5 people in Milwaukee County that serve, and we get together in May to talk about all kinds of issues that the people are able to bring forth to us, and it's a very exciting time. It seems like we focus a lot on the national races. We all hear the name Jules Stein in the Green Party. We all hear about the big races. But really, Greens can and should run and win for these small elections. We're all about grassroots politics. And this is exactly what grassroots politics is. It's getting up in a gym on a Tuesday night and getting together and talking about our local issues, such as if there's public land that's being privatized, which was a big issue in Milwaukee in this last year. The county was looking to privatize a whole bunch of the parks, and that's what got me interested in running. Also, I was interested because I do some fishing and I enjoy the parks as well, and getting to know the people that also enjoy the parks, which is just about everybody, really makes us a part of the whole community. Sometimes people see Greens as fringe candidates or these crazy liberal people, but really getting into a Congress like this and getting to talk to everybody one-on-one, we're all just regular people looking to have a sustainable and healthy environment and having a sustainable lifestyle in whatever city you're involved in. So I've only just been elected this April, and we had one meeting in May. Some of these positions, even though they run for a couple of years, they're not like what you see on TV with Scandal or something where it's a day-to-day thing. But what I've learned so far is that there are a lot of people in all parties, and this is a nonpartisan position, that people get together and they do care about the environment, that even the people that are hunting the most, of course, they want to have a deer population to hunt the next year, so they have to care about all the other issues. And even if we don't get along with some of those kinds of issues in hunting, we will get along on other issues like having sustainable mining practices and other issues about keeping land open for people to use. So really, a lot of this year for me has been learning about what has been going on in the Congress for the last 30 to 50 years, what the efforts are right now, because there are hundreds of people involved in this, and we barely get to hear about it. But I'm super honored to be a part of the Congress, and I'm honored to share with you about it today. So thank you for having me, and have a great time at the convention.
Thank you, Barbara. And let me remind everyone that you can learn more about Green candidates and Green office holders at our national website, gp.org. GP is in greenparty.org, and you can see it on the here in front of the podium. I live in Washington, D.C., but I'm originally from Long Island, New York, and I always take a special interest when I learn that we have candidates running anywhere on Long Island, and we have one of our Long Island candidates with us today. His name is Jeff Peress. He's running for the City Council of Glen, Cove. Come on up, Jeff.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. My name is Jeff Peress. I am running for the city of Glen Cove, Long Island, New York. It's located on the north shore of Nassau County. I have been a long resident of Glen Cove for 45 years. And I went to the Glen Cove schools. I graduated with honors. I am also a graduate of Nassau Community College. I received my associate's degree in 1997 in restaurant management, and I'm now pursuing a degree in sociology and industrial labor relations at SUNY Old Westbury. I could tell you a little bit about myself. I ran for various positions before, including City Council, State Assembly, and the Glen Cove School Board. I am also a member of the Glen Cove Volunteer Fire Department. I have also been a past volunteer for the North Shore Sheltering Program for homeless men in Glen Cove, and I serve as a Nassau County delegate to the Nassau County Firefighters Association. I served as a board member in Glen Cove to Congregation Tifereth Israel from 1998 to 05, and I will tell you the reason why I'm running. Glen Cove needs a balance of power. The two parties are not working. There are a few issues. One example is the environment. There's not enough open space in Glen Cove for our children or our community to play in or enjoy themselves. Another issue is abolishing the Industrial Development Agency. That's an agency that gives out corporate giveaways and they do not pay taxes for an X amount of years. They're abusing their power, and I want to revoke that from the Regency and RXR Corporation and other various places, so they can be put back on the tax roll so we could pay for our services, such as maintaining our roadways and services for our youth. The housing issue also. There's an issue with housing, and the problem with our housing is because we're giving these giveaways to these developers, and they're setting aside a small amount, a minuscule amount, for affordable housing. Now, what is affordable housing? That's 30% of your gross income based on the poverty level. A single person, and I'm a single person like me would have to make, on the poverty level, $12,000 a year. And over 100% is $24,000. So out of $24,000 a year, and I only make about $24,000 a year, I would be paying $7,200 a year for affordable housing. That's not affordable for someone in our income ranks. It should be based on your net income. So other issues are, I want to make it a sanctuary city because we have a huge population from Central America that settled in Glen Cove, and there's a lot of fear going on, and I would like to make it a sanctuary city so the police do not participate in any ICE ranges. I'm an ordinary person. I'm not a career politician. I believe in term limits. I do not plan on sitting on the city council. It should be term limited to 3 terms at 2 years each. And I'm not a suit and tie person. I'm a custodian. I clean buildings for a living. So I struggle just like everyone else. And as for the Green Party, we are not just a bunch of tree huggers. We believe in good government. And if I get elected to the city council, I will appoint good people, irregardless of political parties. If you can do the job, I want you to run my city. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We have a candidate from Pennsylvania, and in fact, you're the lone statewide candidate running for office for the Green Party in Pennsylvania. Jules Mermelstein is running for Pennsylvania Superior Court Judge. Jules?
Thanks, Scott. I am Jules Mermelstein, and I am a candidate for the Pennsylvania Superior Court in Pennsylvania statewide. My experience includes being a volunteer attorney for the American Civil Liberties Union, where I protected everybody's rights. My experience includes being elected to 5 terms as a township commissioner in a township in Montgomery County. In fact, 2 of those elections, I was nominated by both major parties for re-election. I have had no scandals in those 5 terms. In fact, in 2011, when I left the board, I was chosen to receive the medal for the Outstanding Citizen in Upper Dublin Township. I have been a licensed lawyer in Pennsylvania since 1980. That's 37 years, not one disciplinary complaint. My wife and I have taught Sunday school using ethics and values to teens for 2 decades. In all this time, I have not had a scandal. And let's compare this to what the major parties have done to the justice system in Pennsylvania. In recent years, we've had 3 Supreme Court justices having to resign from scandal. 1 Republican, 2 Democrats. We have had 2 attorneys general, 1 Republican, 1 Democrat, going to jail for their activities. We've had 2 Democratic judges accused and convicted of selling juveniles to a private prison, both Democrats. We have had, most recently, the District Attorney of Philadelphia being led away in handcuffs after admitting in federal court to 29 counts of federal corruption. There are 4 judges to be elected to the Superior Court in November. And I say, isn't it time that we elect one based on integrity and not based on party affiliation? Thank you. On the ballot will be 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, and me. That's it. So people will get 4 votes, and 1 of them should be for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jules. A few minutes ago, we heard from an elected Green office holder in the state of Wisconsin, and we have right now an elected Green office holder in the state of Connecticut. Mirna Martínez is a member of the Board of Education of New London, and Mirna is running for re-election this year. Mirna?
Good morning. My name is Mirna Martínez. I am a Board of Ed member in New London, Connecticut. I'm currently serving my 2nd term, and in November going up for re-election, seeking a 3rd term. In New London, to get a understanding a little bit about our politics, we have 15 elected officials, and 14 of them are Democrats. And typically when I start that in an introduction with somebody, not in this group, but typically the response is, oh, so you're a Republican. No, I'm not a Republican, I'm a Green. And so within that community, just to understand that that there is an ability anywhere to have our other representation, or a representation of our key values, which I love. As a Board of Ed member in New London, a couple of things, which I'm actually a little bit of hesitant at first, because like most people think that green, therefore you're a tree hugger. But I have introduced recycling into our community. But another one that I'm really proud of, a policy, is an equity and diversity policy, which states systematic racism and then ensures or mandates that in any place within the system, when you see some type of an inequity, an imbalance within different schools, within different populations, demographics, that we need to therefore go back to it and analyze and look at what are the systems in place that allow for those discrepancies within those demographics. And let's see, something else that is really important to me is the preservation of public education. So as a board member, not only do I look at that within our community, but look at networking with other communities within Connecticut in order to ensure that we are preserving a public education that is available to all young people. Because unfortunately we're in a state where we're looking, I don't mean the state of Connecticut, but in a state of our larger community where privatization is a part of what we need to be cautious of. So I've been endorsed by our local paper, The Day, not for this run, but in the past, and I am looking for more time representing as a Green member in New London. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirna. I'd like to invite all of our candidates to come up and gather behind me, and we will entertain questions from the news media. And I'll also remind everyone that we are gathered here at the New Jersey Institute of Technology in Newark for the Green Party's 2017 annual national meeting. And this is our final press conference. So now I'll take questions. Yes, sir.
For those where this question is relevant, Black Lives Matter and police misconduct in treating people of color have become an issue in metropolitan areas across this country. Relative to your race, how do you plan on handling the issue of police misconduct and Black Lives Matter supporters as constituents?
Let's have Mirna and then Elijah.
As a school board member, the way that relates, I mean, I think we've all heard the term of school to prison pipeline. So what we want to look at this level is ensuring that our discipline policies are not punitive, but are restorative. And once again, with the equity and diversity policy, looking at where discrepancies take place and why.
definitely agree. When it comes to education, one of my platform planks is to end the school-to-prison pipeline, but also ending prison-like school environments, alternative school environments where they do not value the students as full human beings, and also removing police officers from our campuses. We do not need police officers on our campuses. Many things happen when they're there, like they're beating up students, arresting students. That shouldn't be happening in Broward County.
Go ahead.
As a candidate or as an elected official, if I'm elected to the council, I'm responsible for the citizens of Glen Cove. I believe we need to not elect a civilian review, complaint review board like in New York City, except change the charter in the city of Glen Cove where we can do that and give them the power to subpoena and the power to prosecute and the power to remove them if there's been misconduct.
In Columbus, Ohio, the city where I'm from, we have a very grave problem with police brutality. And so I've worked as an attorney on some of these cases representing Black Lives Matter activists who've been arrested in protesting. What I've seen is that in other cities, the Department of Justice has come in and there have been consent decrees regulating the behavior of police officers. So what I see is that we need nonviolent communication training and de-escalation for police officers. A lot of times they are brought into situations that is inappropriate to have a police officer handle in the first place. So sometimes there's a schizophrenic or a person with mental health issues who's having a mental health crisis. A police officer is called by their family, and then believing that the mentally ill person is a threat to themselves or others, sometimes the police officer is shooting that person. And so we need to have different police tactics. We need to make sure that we have mental health and addiction services so that people can get the mental health care that they need. And we certainly need civilian review boards to hold the police accountable. And these are just a few of the things that we need to do. I also believe that in Ohio, we need decriminalization of nonviolent crimes. So we need decriminalization of drug possession crimes, nonviolent gun possession crimes, and child support. And so I really do believe that we can make changes that will inform the police officers, hopefully lessen the burden on them, but also give them the training that they need and let them know that this behavior is not acceptable. They need to be serving the people, not corporations. I think that what we see in a lot of activist cases is that the police are protecting corporate interests and they're not there for the people. So we want to make that change in Ohio. Thank you.
As a former criminal defense attorney, I'm perfectly aware of the racism inherent in that system. I actually argued a case once, arguing to a judge that the Commonwealth hadn't proven my client guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and his response from the bench in open court was, well, the fact that your client's black makes it worse. I took that appeal actually to the court I'm running for and got an order for a new trial before a different judge. However, that judge remained on the bench. You need an appellate court judge who understands what's going on in the system. As far as police misconduct, I agree that they are often called in to situations that do not call for police to be there. And what would be fair to both police and to those being policed is for the legislative bodies to do their job. And their job, if you notice, whenever an agency has a rule, you've got public comment, and you've got decision-making done, and then the rules put in place. Here, the legislative bodies basically leave it to the police departments to come up with their own rules, if they come up with rules at all. The Utah Supreme Court issued an order that said when looking at any action by a police officer, the first thing they're going to do is look and see, was it justified under some legislative action, whether it was local, whether it was statewide. If not, the action by the police was illegal and we don't have to deal with the constitutional issue. I think that's a good start. Then if it was justified, then they look and see if it was constitutional. But it's a good start to start forcing the legislative bodies to do their job so that the police and those being policed are treated fairly.
Thank you, Jules. Well, we'll take one more question. If there is anybody has one more question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so compared to the Democrats and Republicans, I know Green Party people talk about a sustainable future instead. So what does a green sustainable future look like for you, and how does it differ from like the neoliberal or the conservative take on it?
Okay, the question is, to Greens, what is a sustainable future, and how does it can we distinguish it from the kind of futures offered by neoliberal Democrats and conservative Republicans? Who would like to address that first? Elijah?
Well, we know what the Democrats and the Republicans' agenda is. Their form of a future is World War III, where we live in a private corporate government. Really, we don't even really have a government anymore. What it is a large corporation running our lives. As it pertains to my race, I do believe in some reforms in our education system to make sure that our school system isn't being privatized. And we've seen what Betsy DeVos is doing with slashing back on civil rights, protections for transgender students, for immigrant students, stuff like that. In Broward County, there's a lot we can do to make sure that there's housing and food for students. We have a $6 billion budget, and we're spending over half of that on things we don't need, on technology we don't need. So we should be spending that on making sure that students that are homeless, we should not have homelessness in Broward County. We have a $6 billion school board budget. Our county commission has over $1 billion. We have so much revenue, and we're giving tax breaks, property tax breaks to people in our county that we don't need. So I think a green, sustainable future in Broward County and in the country can look a lot different from what the Democrats and Republicans in that county is offering.
The neoliberal agenda and conservative agenda is what's running or fueling the privatization movement. The language of wanting education to be accessible to all, and so therefore let's allow these choices, school choice. That's what it's supposedly all about. It's not working. It's look at the failing test scores of certain districts, not talk about poverty, not talk about other reasons that other helps actually, but let's just talk about that they're failing and pull them out and remove the system of education, put in abilities for corporatization, for privatization to take advantage of those public monies, and meanwhile there's this dismantling of the entire system. So I mean, I think that's the brightest example of the difference in those agendas versus the green agenda, where it really is a wanting to preserve public education, which is such a democratic tool to allow accessibility for everyone.
As it pertains to the judicial system in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvanians are lucky in that we have a constitutional right to a clean environment. Article 1, Section 27 of the Pennsylvania Constitution states that we're entitled to clean air and pure water. And the state Supreme Court has interpreted that as to mean the entire environment, including the ground and anything else related to the environment. Our state Supreme Court has repeatedly slapped administrations, both Republican and Democrat, down who have tried to cozy up to the fracking industry. This has not stopped that activity. We need judges throughout the system who recognize that people's right to a clean environment, and as that amendment says, belongs not only to Pennsylvanians but to their children and future progeny, and that will strictly enforce that environment.
I'm Constance Gadell Newton, and I'm running for governor of Ohio. And as governor, I would like to move Ohio towards becoming a green eco-utopia. Well, I think what we see under new neoliberalism is that corporations are externalizing the cost of doing business to maximize profit. And so they're making the environment pay the cost, and they're making the people pay the cost. So what I would like to see is putting the people first and putting the environment first. Public resources, public transportation, really having an eye on practical solutions to making sure that we that we move forward in a green, eco-friendly way. I think that a lot of people have kind of put the environment on the back burner, but what we're approaching here is imminent environmental crisis, and that's something that we need to work hard to make sure that our people are taken care of, that low income and working people are taken care of through that crisis that is potentially imminent. So I think that Green Party members have a realistic view of what needs to be done and what is what the possibilities are, and that our interest is really for the people, not corporations. Thank you.
The Republicans and the Democrats have a long history here of being, the Republicans are supposedly conservative on some issues and the Democrats are supposedly liberal on some issues, but they kind of cross each other, and eventually they just do whatever the money tells them to do. We all know that they both bend to corporate interests all the time. What the Green Party promises is that we are not ever going to bend to corporate interests, and that we are actually here for what the people want. Thankfully, the United States has been blessed with numerous resources, a beautiful landscape, wonderful people, and we are here to put all of that to good use for the foreseeable future. And what that means is that the Greens are conservatives, but they're conservatives that believe in conserving the land and conserving our resources. The Greens are liberals, but we're liberals in the liberty towards our people, in making our people free, and that they have a just system to go to. So we have some of the same language that are used with the Republicans and Democrats, but we actually do what we promise we're going to do, because there is not a corporate interest backing any of us. We're just people that are talking to other people and not run like puppets with a lobby interest. Thanks.
Yeah. From the city of Glen Cove point of view, I'm going to tell you in lay terms instead of academic terms so people understand. The issue is, on the city level, picture your city workers, your sanitation workers, and the sign departments. They work and live in the community, and they save, and they do a lot. They work hard. Picture privatizing those same positions. The private companies would be out there to make the bottom line. That's all they care about. So they're out there for profit. And this leads to corruption, because it also leads to kickbacks, because a private company or private bidder can contribute toward the Republicans and the Democrats. The Green Party, like myself, does not accept money from multi-corporations. We believe in people before profits. In the city of Glen Cove, for example, RXR Corporation, the 54-acre waterfront that they want to build can be rezoned for green jobs where they can manufacture solar. It used to be the old Konica imaging over there. There used to be the Matisse Corporation there, and the polluted sites, and the old photo circuits and Slater property on Seacliff Avenue could be used to manufacture wind turbines. Think about it. You have 27,000 people living in Glen Cove. Think about the revenue it would create, the tax revenue, and affordable housing for people, because they would make enough money to be able to live and have a better standard of living. This also comes from the state and the federal. We have to pay a big majority of the budget for our municipal workers. is toward health care. As a city council candidate or as a mayoral candidate, the city council and mayor have the obligation to push for single-payer health care toward our federal and our state levels, so it would slash the municipal budgets in half. We support a stock transfer tax on the federal level that will trickle down to New York, and it would trickle down to the city of Glen Cove, and would put a couple $1 million additional in our, and we would have surpluses. This is what good government is. Greens mean good government and common sense. Thank you.
Well, in a moment, we will conclude today's press conference. We heard from Green candidates and from Green elected office holders who remind us that when Greens run for local office, very often they win. When they serve in public office, very often they are reelected. And with that, I'd like to invite all the candidates to gather close together and allow people to take some photos of the candidates. Thank you. Smile.
I hate fake smiling.